All right, DIY Dad here. Today we're going to show you how to tackle or troubleshoot a leaky tub. If you've got a tub that's leaking, maybe it's leaking into your ceiling, depending on what the tub is, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot that and 8 times out of 10 what the actual problem is. So let's get started. I've already got some of this taken apart. I'm going to show you what we're looking at. So here's a quick look at what we're going to be working with today. So you're going to need a screwdriver, some channel locks, and some pliers, or that special tool that takes the bottom off, but you can do it with a pair of long handled pliers, needle nose, that works fine. And then I'll drop links to all these guys in the bottom, but I got my overflow gasket, I got my shoe washer, I've got my my new drain that I'll put in, and the overflow faceplate that we'll put in, a new guy there. I've also got, I forgot to set it up here, some plumber's putty that we will be using, ta-da, and some plumber's tape. So that's all you'll need for this job. Okay, so if you have a fiberglass tub, this is a typical culprit. And I'm gonna show you a couple things. One, if you have kiddos that like to take baths, and I know that thing looks ugly, but it is what it is. What can happen sometimes is this overflow, which runs down into the lower part of the tub down here below. Sometimes this can be loose, or the gasket in here, which I've already taken out, can be not sitting in there or seating properly, which could allow water to run behind the fiberglass. That's a possibility. That's not typically what's going on, but that can happen. Now, let's get down to here what's probably happening, all right? So I've got a stopper tub. There's plenty of videos to show you how to take these things out on the web, but I've already taken this out. The secret, they make a special tool to taking out your drain, but I'll show you a little trick. Just put some long hair handle pliers in there and twist, and you can unscrew that bad boy. So when you unscrew this, what you're gonna find is this seal, and people use different things. This, I can tell, has some silicone in it. A lot of people will use plumber's putty. And so what happens over time is that seal can get bad in any tub, specifically in a fiberglass tub, because if you've got heavy boys bouncing around in here, this has some give to it, and it can make the seal on those break and come loose. So if you have a fiberglass tub, I recommend checking this every 2 to 5 years anyway. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this guy off. Actually, I bought a new one. I bought a new one. We're gonna rethread this with some plumber's tape, and then we're gonna take plumber's putty. We're gonna scrape all this out. We're gonna take some new plumber's putty and put it around this and get that sealed up. There's also a gasket that goes between that pipe and the bottom of the tub. I'm gonna replace that. Even though this one looks fine to me, they're only like $2 at the hardware store. So I'm gonna replace all of these parts. I got a new one of these guys because this is old and gross when we get that cleaned up. I got a new gasket for that. I got a new base because this guy's pretty old and rusted and croaky looking. And I got a new gasket that we'll replace. We're gonna replace all of those pieces, and 8 times out of 10, that's why your tub is leaking right there. So let's get after it. So I went ahead and put the overflow seal in there. The only thing that you're gonna wanna know about this guy is that it goes in like this, the fat part on the bottom, skinny part on the top. So it will sit in between the pipe and the fiberglass of the tub like this. And then we're gonna put our faceplate on like this. I'm gonna screw that guy back on. Okay, so next we're gonna put in the new drain. And what I'm gonna do is take that silicone tape and I'm gonna wrap it around this guy. And that will just help make sure that we don't have any leaks there. So we'll just wrap this guy in. It's hard for me to hold the camera and do that, so I'm just gonna do that now. Okay, so now we got the plumber's tape wrapped around here like this. We're gonna take this drain shoe, we're gonna put this, it actually goes on top of the pipe, but between, so here's the bottom of the tub, here's the top of the pipe, it goes in between it on your drain. And so that's called a tub drain, the shoe washer. So we're gonna replace that shoe washer, and then we're gonna screw this guy back in. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So also what we're gonna do is clean that up. So I gotta take all of that silicone off of that. We're gonna use plumber's putty, and we're gonna wrap it around our drain and then wrap it, and then screw it back in. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I got that cleaned off, and I got the shoe washer put back in there. That's what you can see, the black thing. It sits between the pipe and the bottom of the tub. So replace that. We've covered our new drain with tape, and now we're gonna put some plumber's putty on it. So with the plumber's putty, you're gonna get you a scoop out, And honestly, you're gonna go back to your Play-Doh days. You're just gonna roll that out, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little putty snake and then we're gonna wrap it around the drain like this. And we're gonna press it in there. And I'll show you what the finished product looks like here in a second. But you get Play-Doh time. So this is what you're gonna end up with, all right? Now that's gonna be way too much putty, and I knew that when I grabbed it out, but I'm gonna show you how there's no such thing as too much. We'll just tighten this thing down, let it squeeze out, and clean up the mess, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second. So let's put that drain back and right here. All right, so you remember what I was telling you, the old trusty wrench hack. Just take your needle and those pliers in there, and you can twist this guy around to tighten that down, and you'll feel it getting good, snug and tight. And then all you gotta do is put your cap back on, and you got her done. And that is how you fix most of your leaky tubs.